Hello and welcome to a new edition of Bengal Magazine. My name is Jeff Ventura. On this week's show, we're visiting with women's hockey, playoff-bound women's hockey, and head coach Candice Moxley and freshman goalie Justine Silva, who hails from Baldwin Park, California. In our second segment, we're talking softball with head coach Marie Curran and senior outfielder from Amherst, New York, Joanna Bardak. In our final segment, we're going to talk strength and conditioning with head coach Nate Young. We'll be back in a minute with women's hockey coach Candice Moxley. In our first segment today, we're visiting with the women's hockey program and head coach Candice Moxley and freshman goalie Justine Silva. Ladies, welcome to the show. Playoff bound for the second consecutive year, just the second time in school history. What makes it amazing is your second year as head coach, first recruiting class, and the turnaround, more than tripling the number of wins from last season and setting a school record for wins in league play heading into the playoffs. The season's certainly, hopefully, far from over, but reflect on what the team's been able to accomplish to this point so far.
You know what, it's just been, it's been a great group of girls that we have in our locker room, and from the start, we had the bar set high for them, and we pushed them, and they responded, and they've done great thus far in our season. Again, we played hard against some top-ranked teams, one-goal games, and really, I don't see it as a large group of freshmen or just kind of that separation as a young team. I see us as one collective group that are kind of making strides forward and setting a name for themselves.
An interesting scenario presents us this week with a playoff game Saturday, February 28th at Utica at 7 p.m. Utica's a team that we just finished playing 2 games against last weekend at home. A decent amount at stake last weekend with the home playoffs on the line. A tie the first day, 3-3, a game that we probably really deserved to win in. And the next day, a more evenly matched game, and they win the game in overtime 3-2, but a very unusual circumstance in that in overtime they pull their goalie and get a power play. And yeah. I can say you can't, a questionable call in overtime, and win 3-2 because they had nothing to lose. A tie favored us. Talk about the short turnaround to play this team again, 2 basically tie games, and now for the right to move on to the semifinals.
Right. Well, we really wanted that home ice position, and that was a goal that we set for ourselves, and it was very unfortunate. I think we could have gotten it done the first night. We outshot them both nights. We outchanced them both nights, and it's one of those things where you get down to the thick of it. We need to finish. We need to score goals. And it was unfortunate for us, but at the same time, our team is well traveled. I think that we'll do fine moving into their barn this weekend and playing them, and we know that they stole those games from us, and we can answer back, and we can get it done this weekend, no problem.
A fun rink to play in, at least,
right.
the Utica War Memorial Auditorium. Freshman goalie from Baldwin Park, California, 23 of 25 games you played in this year, 2.71 goals against average and a 900 save percentage. Talk about your first season in college and the transition from club hockey with the Anaheim Lady Ducks to Buffalo State.
Well, it's a huge transition. You know, you go from club, which you're so used to, you know, showing up to the rink an hour before, you know, 3-minute warm-up and you play your game and you're done with it. You know, when you come to college, a lot more on the line. You know, these conference games mean a lot. And the whole process takes a lot more time than you would think, you know, showing up to the rink 2 hours before, little things like that. It's a huge transition. I'm glad I'm kind of adapting to it a lot better now than I did at the beginning of the season. But it's an incredible experience, you know. Everyone dreams of playing college hockey, and when you're finally there and you get the whole, you know, you have your fan base, you get to play at your home rink, you have your conference games, you have, you know, you travel, it's a great experience and all.
You talk a little bit about the transition to the college game. Growing up in suburban Los Angeles, and here you are 2,500 plus miles away in Buffalo, and we haven't seen the grass in months. Talk about what that transition has been like just on your personal life.
It's different. I haven't really gotten too homesick yet. It's it's cool, I guess you can say, because, I mean, I've never lived in snow. It's a new experience. It's a new atmosphere. Adapting to it was a little harder than I thought, but I'm getting along pretty well.
You have that built-in family, like you talked about, with the closeness of this team. Talk about really the strengths of this team as far as how they've managed to stay on the same page for most of this season.
You know what? I think it stems from our leadership with Goodwin, Minnick, and Nikki. They're great captains for us, and they set a good example for all the freshmen coming in. And they're easily approachable, which I find that it's good for having 10 freshmen. It's easy for them to go to our captains before having to come to me. So again, that increases the bonds within the locker room. But everybody was pretty much on the same page. The recruiting process, like we wanted to bring in players that were bought in, ready to work hard and get it done. And I think as a staff, we did a good job pulling in those players, and it was an easy transition where everybody's just willing and ready to just do the work, and it's proven itself on the ice.
Coach, you mentioned 3 seniors with Kara Goodwin, Jenna Minnick, and Megan Nicity.
Right.
But you also mentioned 10 newcomers. Justine, what has that been like, being part of a team with so many kids coming in at the same time, and really, I think a team that's shown some maturity beyond its years this year with discipline on the ice, et cetera. Talk about what it's like to be part of such a young group.
It's awesome. You know, coming to Buffalo, we knew that it was going to be a rebuilding process and that we were building up the program and trying to make a name for Buffalo State. Being one of the 10 freshmen on the team, it's so much fun because we're all learning together. You know, it's not 1 or 2 freshmen trying to figure it out. It's all of us experiencing our first year together, having some good times together, and like she was saying, being able to turn to those few vets we do have in the locker room. And if we stumble, they'll help us. And it's just a great experience to be able to get so close to my freshman class and be able to carry that into my few more years at the school.
It's a great group and an exciting group to watch moving forward. Looking forward to this Saturday. Talk about such an evenly played week, well, even result weekend, although the balance of play was in our favor. What needs to go right for us to advance to the semifinals?
You know what? I think, again, we need to push our shot totals. We did a good job this past weekend in getting pucks to the net, but again, it's that secondary effort and getting those rebounds and finishing. And also special teams. It came into play big time this past weekend, and we need to make sure that our power plays are clipping, they're confident when they step out on the ice, and our PK is ready to do what they need to do to kind of stop it on the reverse side of things. So blocking shots, having good sticks, taking away lanes, and it's just a matter of execution at this point.
You both need to take it one game at a time, obviously, but should we advance, we've got Elmira and Plattsburgh in the way, nationally ranked teams with national championships to their credit. Teams that we've played 1-goal games against both of them this season. Where are we in probably the best conference in the country, the ECAC West? Where do you see us going in the future?
You know what? I think we can hang with the big guns. That's for sure. I think we've proven it this year with those games, making those teams very nervous, which is great because we're only going to move forward. We're only going to get better. So I think that down the line, I'd see us in that top echelon in our conference competing and getting those votes and those rankings nationally.
Well, congratulations on a great season so far, and good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully there's several games left in the future, but especially this Saturday against Utica. And now for another Bengal Update with Rebecca Coleman.
Hello and welcome to Bengal Update. I'm Rebecca Coleman, here with a recap of news and a look at the upcoming events surrounding Buffalo State athletics. The regular seasons have closed out for the Bengals winter teams, and postseason action has begun. Swimming and diving closed out the year at the SUNYAC Championships, February 18th through the 23rd. On the men's side, freshman Connor Mergler won the 50 freestyle, breaking his own school record and becoming the first men's swimmer to earn a SUNYAC title since 2000. Mergler also broke school records in the 100 freestyle with another first-place finish and in the 200 freestyle with a fourth-place finish. On the women's side, Allison Kolzinski set a school record, cutting nearly 30 seconds off her best time in the 1650 freestyle. Track and field competed in a final tune-up meet of the indoor season at Brockport on Saturday. For the men, Josiah Thomas highlighted the docket with nationally ranked performances in the triple jump and the long jump. For the women, Chatone Pritchard led a 1-2-3 finish for the Bengals in the 60-meter dash and ran a leg of the winning 4x200 meter relay, earning her SUNYAC Track Athlete of the Week honors. The Bengals return to Brockport on Friday, February 27th for SUNYAC Championships. Men's hockey swept Fredonia on Valentine's Day weekend to secure a SUNYAC playoff berth. This past weekend, the Bengals split at home with a 4-1 win over Brockport and then a 4-4 tie against Geneseo to finish as the number 5 seed for playoffs. The Bengals will travel to number 4 Potsdam on Wednesday, February 25th for a 7 p.m. quarterfinal matchup. Women's hockey also secured a playoff berth on Valentine's Day weekend after splitting with Cortland. This past weekend, the Bengals faced Utica at home, tying them 3-3 the first night and falling in the last minute of overtime 3-2 the next night. Buffalo State will not have to wait long for a chance at revenge, as the 5th-seeded Bengals will travel to number 4 Utica on Saturday at 7 p.m. for an ECAC West quarterfinal matchup. Women's basketball, who earned the 6th seed in SUNYAC playoffs, ended its season on Tuesday night with a 79-58 loss against New Paltz in the SUNYAC quarterfinals. Senior Ashley Wallace led Buffalo State with 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in her final game as a Bengal. Men's basketball also closed out the season on Tuesday evening. The 4th-seeded Brockport Golden Eagles slipped past the 5th-seeded Bengals in back-and-forth SUNYAC quarterfinals contest held at Brockport. Senior Chris Cartwright led Buffalo State with 16 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals in his final game as a Bengal. On Tuesday, February 17th, Buffalo State Athletics and the Student Athletic Advisory Committee hosted Going Bald for Bucks to benefit Roswell Park Cancer Institute. A total of 45 haircuts were given, over 90 inches of hair was donated to Locks of Love, and $4,400 was raised. Reporting for Buffalo State, I'm Rebecca Coleman. We'll be back for more Bengal Magazine after this short timeout.
I want to point out our Tim Hortons Buffalo State Athlete of the Week for this week. It's men's swimmer Connor Mergler. Freshman health and wellness major, became the first Buffalo State men's swimmer in 15 years to capture an individual SUNYAC championship when he won both the 50 and 100 free events, breaking school records in each. He also added a 3rd school record in the meet with a 4th place finish in the 200 free. Connor Mergler is your Buffalo State Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. In our second segment today, we're joined by softball head coach Marie Curran and senior outfielder Joanna Bardak. Ladies, welcome to the show. 4 feet of snow on the ground, but it is time to talk softball. Entering your 3rd full season with the team, returning a number of key pieces that went 19 and 16 last year, and had a little run in the SUNYAC playoffs to the semifinals. What are we looking forward to this year when the snow finally melts?
Definitely looking for another step forward. I think each of our years we've improved. The confidence of the team this year, the lack of change in philosophy is also helping because I feel like the returners are used to us now, and the little more aggressive style and demand of skill perfection that we work with them. So I think that's really going to help. Having a class that's been with us for 4 years is definitely improving the camaraderie on the team and that atmosphere of, we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done because we're going to work hard.
Returning a really solid core from last year's team, talk about some of the key pieces that are back in this year's lineup.
We have one of the, arrogantly I would say, the best player in the conference in Stephanie Novo, who is a junior for us. She's back at second base. Maddie Konis is coming back in a much healthier position, so we're really excited about her and her run in the circle for us. Kate Burnell is back behind home plate. Joanna, who's with us today, is going to be back in left field and finished the season off very strong with her bat and made some great adjustments during the season. So I'm excited to see her senior year also.
Well, we'll talk about Joanna first since she's here. 320 batting average last year, 12 extra base hits, 29 RBI. In your first season with the Bengals, after transferring from Monroe Community College, a very successful junior college program, and a successful junior college career for you, what was the transition like to the 4-year college level Division III softball?
It was very different just to come to a 4-year school where the girls have been together for 4 years instead of just 2 years. I was lucky enough to transfer with 2 girls that I played with at Monroe, Jenna Clark and Chrissy Renard, so that made it easier. And I had some high school friends that were on the team here at Buff State that it made it easy to transition.
Coach Curran talked about the aggressive style and the buy-in, and she sought out players to fit that style, and obviously you're one of them. Talk about how fun is it to be part of a system that is going to challenge teams on the base pass and be as in-your-face style of softball as you can play.
I mean, I thought that's always just the way to play. If you don't put 110% into everything you do, then why are you doing it? It's just, makes the game more fun, and it makes everyone just have a better time.
As a student athlete, as a senior on the team now too, as one of the leaders, how do you keep your sanity when the snow is coming down and you're in the gym every day? Is this new approach keeping it fresh for you, or do you have to employ some techniques of your own to kind of stay focused?
Oh no, I love this technique. I think it's great just having individual time just to like focus on yourself and focus on what you need to get better at, and in a whole you get better as a team. And just looking forward to Florida just gives us hope, just being in the gym and seeing it snow every single day. Just that sunshine will give us hope.
Just a couple minutes left. We talked about this returning core, but you've also brought in a talented class of freshmen and transfers. Highlight some of the names that we should be excited to watch this season.
We added a very talented pitcher to our staff this year, which is going to help our depth. So we have essentially 4 starting pitchers. Alexis Haley, she goes by Lexi, is a very strong offensive player, but throws the ball extremely hard. So she's going to be the fastest pitcher we have on our staff. So it'll be a great combination with our other pitching staff members. We also added 4 freshmen who recently have really showed us they deserve to see time. Danielle Zimkowiak from Cheektowaga High School played for one of our former assistant coaches, so we knew a lot about Danny coming in. Great girl, wants to play anywhere we'll put her because she wants to play. Megan Mingle joined us from Williamsville South. Melissa Majira joined us from Williamsville South. She actually transferred in, but we're very lucky she transferred as a freshman. So we're going to have 4 years of eligibility with Melissa. Then Nicole Adams is one of our surprises from Star Point. It's just amazing what that girl has picked up over the last 5 weeks of practice. Never expected her to shine as much as she is right now.
Well, exciting season on the horizon. Keep the faith that the warm weather is just around the corner, no matter what Dunkirk Dave might say. And we'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk strength and conditioning with head coach Nate Young. Hello and welcome to another edition of Pros vs. Joes. My name is Jeff Ventura. Today I'm inside the Buffalo State Sports Arena. For today's competition, our pro is going to be men's basketball sophomore guard Jordan Glover, the team's sharpshooter, hitting 34% of his three-pointers and 95% of his free throws this season. Our Joe, Jordan's head coach, Fajri Ansari, in his 10th season with the Bengals. Today's game is pretty simple. Score as many points as you can in 30 seconds. The ball cart will be placed at the top of the key. Each time a ball is scored is either out of play or needs to be tagged back up outside the three-point line. Again, 30 seconds, as many points as possible. Before we get started, I'll ask you, Jordan, turn the tables a little bit. Any advice you want to give to Coach today?
Just make sure you bring your jump shot.
Coach Ansari, the strategizer as a head coach, what is your strategy to tackle this competition?
Fundamentally, you should start with layups first, so he's definitely going to do that. Hopefully get a little warm up and try to knock down a few three-pointers.
As many points as you can score in 30 seconds. Gentlemen, good luck. And our pros remain undefeated in pros versus Joes. Coach Ansari, good fundamentals, 2 hands, each hand layup only resulted in 4 points. However, Jordan, our winner, with 12 points. Jordan, talk about this accomplishment and how it ranks up there with your accomplishments this season.
It feels pretty good. You know, me and Coach, like he said, we battle every day with trick shots. We haven't done threes yet, so, you know, it feels good to come out on top officially.
Coach, now, again, good fundamentals. Was it the wrong strategy?
Probably, because I think I would just took all threes. I would end up with more than 4 points for sure.
Probably more than 12, too, so
Yeah.
it's good strategy.
Yeah.
Guys, that'll do it for another edition of Pros versus Joes. Welcome back. In our final segment today, we're visiting with head strength and conditioning coach Nate Young. Nate, welcome to the show. I guess we can start with congratulations. You've completed your 2-year anniversary at Buffalo State as our head strength coach, and in a relatively short time, I think everybody will recognize a real culture change with our student athletes to a kind of a year-round training concept. Talk about some of the mechanisms that you've been able to put in place to really have the student athletes embrace this concept.
Well, a couple things that we've done is we've started an Iron Bengal Award. And this allows the students who are testing with weights or with other events that we do to get a grade, so to speak, for their sport. And so a lot of kids have really bought into that and got competitive with it, and they realize that they have to train year-round to raise their score up. So with the teams that we've implemented that with, almost across the board, they are some of my better teams in the weight room. Other than that, we've scheduled with the coaches and having a set schedule and set times with them, so not everybody's just running into each other, because you'll have, you know, like a cross-country player not want to lift with a football player, and now each sport has their own set times and someone's kind of governing that, and that has helped with the culture change. And just being there, opening the doors and saying, hey, I'm here on a holiday, I'm here over the summer, come in, the weight room's for you to use. And those are some of the biggest factors that we've done to change the culture.
A really exciting event that you held this past week, the inaugural Strength and Conditioning Clinic at Buffalo State. A fantastic turnout, and I know some really exceptional speakers came in and helped with the event. Talk about your goals for that event and how it met and probably exceeded your expectations for the first time through.
Well, this was our first time through, like you said, and it met my expectations as far as the turnout. I personally would like to have a few more there, and I'd like a different population to come eventually. I sent out over 1,000 emails to high school strength coaches or high school coaches, and we had a handful of them show up, but we hit a number of students and people that will be future coaches. So that was exciting to see. As far as speakers go, I want to reach out beyond the state. Everybody here except for one speaker was within New York State, and most of them were here in Western New York. And eventually I want to be able to reach out and get people from Pennsylvania and Ohio and maybe even Toronto area to come in and speak and be a part of this and just get different viewpoints on different sports and expose the students that come and other coaches that come to different training methodologies to hopefully make our future products that are coming here to Buffalo State a little bit better.
Well, one of the things you touched on briefly is such a great opportunity for some of our current student athletes and just Buffalo State students interested in pursuing a career in the field. Yeah. And I know that you've been mentoring some of them. Yeah. Talk about that opportunity for them, and maybe it's something similar to what you were presented with as an undergraduate student.
Well, that was that's one of my big things is mentoring young athlete or young potential strength coaches to be better in this field. We had at least 3 of my former interns in the crowd and 1 current intern in the crowd, and one of them actually helped present. And one of the graduate schools he had applied to was also in the event, and they didn't offer him a job, but they basically said, "We're really interested in having you here." So it opens up those opportunities. One of our other interns met with one of the other speakers and was like, "Hey, I really like what you did, and do you have any internships and graduate assistantships open?" So it was really a good networking opportunity for a lot of our student athletes, or for our students, I should say. And they just have to take advantage of it. But
a great opportunity for everybody that was involved. Also, it raised some money for your program to be able to do some improvements in your area. Again, thank you for taking the time to come on, and thank you for commitment to our student athletes. I know they appreciate all your time and efforts. That'll do it for this edition of Bengal Magazine. Thank you as always to our talented crew down here in Instructional Resources. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again for more Bengal Magazine in 2 weeks.